Good morning, good evening, good night, NFT Live, Web3 Network. We're here to break down the latest happening across the industry, deliver it right to your computer, to your TV, to your household, wherever you're at. I am here with Gifted. We just got off a wild and wacky GM Web3 show. We host that Twitter Spaces right before we hop over into NFT Live here and give you the latest, of course. That was kind of crazy. We're a little bit late. Bear with us. We appreciate you guys. What's up, Gif?
Yeah, episode 250. I mean, it's quite a milestone. I'm surprised I'm still alive for a lot of reasons, but I'm just grateful that we're still out here able to keep showing up day to day and have some amazing people that keep showing up with us. So, shout out to the fam over there on Spaces and any of y'all hanging out with us here on NFT Live too. Shout out to you, Nifty Q, for being a big part of it as well. But yeah, celebrating a big milestone over there on GM Web3, the real GM Web3. That's a big deal. Yeah. So thank you to everybody who was part of that. It was a weird show though. I have to say, I was off kilter and felt like I was sweating on stage more than I normally do. There was just all kinds of weird energy being thrown around on there. We had a good time with it, but yeah, the real primary colors, we need to get this right. It's RGB. That's how physics works.
We want to bring that conversation over here.
That's how light works. I understand that elementary school art theory would tell you it's red, blue, yellow. I understand that. But that's just not how physics works and how eyes work. And that's the original primary colors.
Yeah, but
it's in your biology.
It's
in the light.
Before we go down the primary color rabbit hole that we did there, we do want to get to a lot of the NFT space and Web3 news here today. We had DeGods and MACHI. MACHI is always in the news for something interesting, man. There's a lot going on with him with the blur farming that he's continuously doing. I think he was up to 300 DeGods at one point. So we have to touch on that. Snowfro and Prohibition announced a huge collaboration. I want to get to that really early in the episode because Jordan had a great narration, a great highlight of that latest collection for only 0.01 ETH. So it's a really good entry point for a lot of people. So super interested in that. Squashman, Benja, Rocky, OVOT, good to see you guys this morning. GM, however you start your morning, we appreciate you, or afternoon. We appreciate you here in today with us. All right, rundown really quick. Nameless Oni Force. We also have Rec League closing their allow list, but they do have a spaces, I believe, later today. So I want to get that to you guys. DeGods, of course. Miladys flipped DeGods. That's one of the main stories that we have today. We are going to be getting back in to rate my bags. I gave Gifted his necessary warning of 48 hours. I sent it in the mail, Gifted. Did you get that?
That's a lie. This is an outright lie. I received no such warning. I received no such notifications, and I am going to have to boycott today's rate my bags. There's no way.
Not going to talk?
You said, Q, we were trying to do these shows in an hour now, and you're just going to throw this, you're just going to pull this out of your butt?
Pause. I think we're going to try to attack the Rate My Bags, an 11th edition, if you will. Really, it has to do, again, with Miladys flipping DeGods. Bored Ape Yacht Club is one of the only 5 ETH projects now. So you obviously have the BAYCs at 28. You have MAYCs at above 5 ETH. And I think that's it. I need to make sure I'm checking the blur and the collection floor prices here. But I'm almost positive that's what we heard from today. So you can see Mutants at 5, Bored Apes at 29. Go ahead.
Apparently no Solana projects are above 100 Sol either. So this is just, it's not just on Ethereum, I guess is the point.
So the nouns might have some argument to be made. We got nouns at 31. Captains at 4.7. All projects that at one point or another, we brought up the top floor prices. I'm not going to do that to us today, GIF. But at one point, we had significant double digits in a lot of different projects. I mean, some of across the space that are now below 1 ETH were at many multiples. So we're going to touch on a little bit of that. I don't want to, FUD too much of the space as we sit here in a bear market today, but I do want to get back into the rate my bags today and see what we can update. I feel like we haven't updated in a while, and we do have some new projects that have joined us in that time. So before we get started, again, this is NFT Live, Web3 Network. We do this every day, 1 p.m. Eastern. We appreciate all of those that tune in afterwards, that tune in live, that are on Twitch, that are on Twitter. Y'all have been killing it. We've been seeing some growth on the network. So that has a lot to do with the support you guys are giving us on Twitter or X and this app as well, with the likes and just getting our content out to the masses, man. We appreciate all the newcomers and the OGs. So really, really, it's been a great month, I think, of growth on the network.
Yeah, shout out NFT Plazas. They picked up and retweeted, shared one of our recent videos over there on the X app too. So real recognize real. Appreciate y'all. And yeah, to your point, Q, everybody who's showing up consistently participating, it's just, yeah, it means the world, man. And we really appreciate all y'all. And this is not financial advice. Thank you for pulling that up, because as we get this episode of NFT Live going, as we get cooking up here, it's always important for us to remind everybody this is not financial advice. Information was found publicly on the internet. All opinions shared on this episode are solely of the Web3 team, and all information is public domain. Please DYOR. And I think that's the first time I've gotten all of that out without even having to look at my notes. So are you impressed?
We're just getting after it here. We're just getting after it. We're becoming professionals right in front of your eyes, folks. All right, let's get started on today's episode. Again, we had a absolutely crazy GM Web3 morning show, so our dashboard's a little all over the place here. This was a tweet from NFT Stats this morning. The battle to be the number 3 10K PFP behind Punks and Apes have shifted substantially over the past 6 weeks. Oh my God, Marty's going to kill me. I didn't say Punks. MAYC has gone from number 6 to number 3, but unfortunately that's because it hasn't fallen as fast as others. So we don't really see a lot of risers. I think Pudgies and Miladys are the only standouts at this point. DeGods was one. They were sitting at like 9 ETH. Azuki at one point, all in the, you know, in the euphoria that comes with what they were doing. But now we see there are no projects other than Yuga above that 5 ETH mark. So to Prodigy's point, maybe it's just never fade Yuga. Yeah.
So top 3 PFPs now all underneath the Yuga umbrella. That's what you're saying. I was doing an interview. Shout out Project Pharaohs, Black Dave and Trish. I did a fun interview with them yesterday, and one of the questions that came up was, of course, this like, is there anybody else out there that's similar to Bored Apes on that level of being sort of an emblem of the NFT space, like the biggest PFP that you feel like transcends or really represents the NFTs in the same way that Bored Ape kind of transcended and became, you know, more aware, you know, out in pop culture beyond NFTs and kind of represented the space like it did. And to be honest, there's not really many of them. You could look at some of the fine art, obviously CryptoPunks, you could say, but I thought more about this. You know, obviously there was that moment there where everybody was like speculating, is Azuki going to be the next Bored Apes? And they totally shot themselves in the foot and, you know, did what they did with the elementals, which I think kind of showed how far they really are from even comparing to what Bored Apes is doing on, you know. But thinking about this more, actually, if there's one project, one PFP out there that I would actually like to represent the space, besides like Oni, which is, you know, I love Oni. I would love for Oni to maybe become bigger and represent the space somehow. That's my kind of personal preference. But the one that I think is more realistic right now with how it's doing, that I would actually like for it to be a representation of the space more broadly, is Pudgy Penguins. Because I think like we need that sort of refresh, that more friendly face, the more professional, you know, family friendly, nice, you know, soft thing. So much of Web3 is edgelords, Milady, you know, Azuki, just like stuff that's not necessary. It doesn't make us look great, I think, to the outside world. And to me, Pudgy Penguins is doing a good job with the business side of things, the way that they're handling stuff. I think Luca is actually like a legit founder and person out there leading that project. And it's just a fun, cute, a familial, friendly face. And so if there was one project that I actually would be happy for it to become a bigger representation that I think has a chance of that, it's Pudgy Penguins.
So, first, I agree with you. I would say that it's interesting that we say this now because of the checkered past that Pudgy's had, right? Like the previous owner was one of the like leaders of the grifters, if you want to call them that, right? Like we had a bunch of we still have projects like this today, right? Like there's always going to be some like grifter esque, like shadowy projects that are just like, yeah, we're kind of like internet cool. Like I don't even know how to explain it, but what you have is like these projects that are essentially like almost look like early days subreddit communities, right? Like that's what you have, and they're not necessarily made for mass adoption, and that's cool. Like it's fine. There's going to be projects like that occur in the NFT space, but that, to your point, is not going to sit well with the broader public because it looks like grifting. It looks like you're kind of shady in a sense, if especially to outside folks. Maybe not to us, but to outside folks. So we will get to I lost Gift Dead. We will get to this Rate My Bags 11th edition. So this is the 10th edition here from, I believe, last month. So we had a last month 11th edition. What we have at S tier right now: Bored Ape Yacht Club, CryptoPunks, Mutant Apes, Nouns. You can't fuck with the Yetis. So Yetis are just up there in solidarity. We have Fidenzas, we have Chromie Squiggles, and we have Rare Pepes there. In A tier, that's kind of where it gets a little bit questionable of where projects should lie. I think most people would agree with that S tier list. We've gotten a lot of pushback. Again, most of these are going to be Ethereum projects. So before you jump off the wagon and say, hey, what the heck's going on? Where is the Solana projects? Where are the Polygon projects? We do have some Polygon projects there. We have the Reddit avatars. We have Avagachi. So we do have some Polygon projects there. Used to be Utes. And we'll get to all of those. So Gifted, welcome back to NFT Live.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Dude, like I've never had that happen, but my computer literally just like shut down and then restarted randomly. But anyway, hopefully it doesn't happen again. Yeah.
You have solid state drive? Jesus. All right, we're going to continue into that conversation around projects, what projects we want to see at the top. Again, the major story there, Miladys flipped DeGods. We can get into the MACHI stuff here after we touch on the kind of breaking news that's happening. Both have to do with Jordan Lyle. So Jordan was pushing Boys of Summer, I believe. Also, let me make sure I'm sharing the right page. The Restream always does that. I believe also Ralph Quintero was one that was sharing the Boys of Summer. That's how we first got a hold of this project. But you can see Jordan here. Congrats, Mitchell F. Chan, on the Boys of Summer. He's talking about his NFT, which was essentially like a dynamic, like life NFT. There was a lot of gamification with this one. It had sports involved with it as well. We can dive into kind of what the details were as far as like how this NFT functions and how the platform gamified it. But in general, I'm interested on whether this again sells out and how Mitchell does on this drop. But it looks like Jordan's involved, and then we do have that Prohibition and Snowfro collaboration that I want to get to. But Gif, I know we were talking about Boys of Summer here on GM Web3. Did you have any takes as we kind of look on to see the sale details and whether that allow list mint sold out?
So this is the mint website. It's on wild.xyz, which I'm not super familiar with. Minted 999 out of 999. So that went very fast because that just started minting in the last 30 minutes.
Yep.
So 0.12 seems to be like a better price point than some of the others we've seen recently. But also this is from a well-known artist in the space, Mitchell F. Chan. And it's a very interesting experiment. And, you know, again, even though this art, I'm not going to lie, is just, it's not my forte. I'm not in love with the way that these characters look as PFPs. There's a lot going on with this project that is very interesting. It's definitely like a social experiment. Like you mentioned, the sports aspect. The artist actually described it as kind of like a baseball RPG, but it's like more about life than just baseball, right? It's kind of using like baseball stats as a metaphor or an allegory for life and this self-measurement culture or whatever. So it's actually a very interesting project, and I'm not surprised that it minted out, given that people like Dmitry Cherniak and Jordan Weil and everybody was kind of hyping it up. But congratulations to him, first of all, Mitchell F. Chan. And I'm curious to see what this does on the secondary. Let's go check out OpenSea real quick.
So while we do that, GIF, I'm actually going to share audio.
87 ETH on secondary already.
Wow. What's the floor price here? 0.12.
0.4.
All right, let's look into audio from Mitchell here talking about the Boys of Summer. Shout out to Ralph Quintero. I know I keep bringing him up, but he was the one that first got us involved, at least in interested in this project. So let's hear from Mitchell.
What if I just think about all of these human beings as, rows and entries on a spreadsheet? I'm Mitchell F. Chan. I'm an artist here in Toronto, Canada. I'm best known for creating an early blockchain artwork in 2017. The Boys of Summer is a unique video game artwork. It is a PFP collection and a participatory market performance. When I talked about the basic premise for this artwork, I talked about 3 threads in our culture today that I was trying to weave together. NFT, collector culture, the quantified self culture, and sports fandom. And the game is something of a base.
So he mentioned quantified collector culture. We broke this down a little bit in the morning show. It has something to do with
there's 2 different things.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, he said quantified self culture.
Okay, quantified.
And then there's the NFT collector culture. So he's meshing that all of those with sports. So quantified self being like the rise of essentially like data analytics in improving yourself as a person. Yeah, right? Life hacks, biohacks, all that type of stuff, Fitbits, Apple Watches, people are obsessed with self-improvement. And now we have the technology to kind of really obsess, get deeper into the numbers of our lives in ways that have never existed. And he's applying that phenomenon through metadata and an NFT project. It's actually really interesting.
Yeah. So again, floor price sitting at 0.4, min at 0.12. I'm interested to see what the gas war looked like on this one, if there was any. But let's hop in. I don't want to spend too much time because again, we do have other topics to get to. But let's jump in.
And sports fandom. And the game is something of a baseball RPG. You connect your character and then you begin this very gamified process of assigning them numbers and attributes. You choose their hitting and throwing and fielding abilities. And the numbers, the attributes that you've selected for your character begets new attributes. And now our numbers machine, it's spinning, it's in gear. And there are the numbers of everyday life as your character's baseball aspirations fade away. Your net worth, the interest rate on your student loan, these.
Okay. I think that you get the deal. There's a lot of things going on. One of the things that brought this to mind for me when I was watching this video GIF was when we talked about NFTs and AI and an NFT having a mind, essentially. You remember that project we were talking about that was trying to integrate some type of mind into an NFT? The idea that an NFT can have its own life as opposed to being used as a representation of me or or an asset that I can use. That's what this brought to mind, is that NFTs will essentially, even with the advent of AI, will have an ability to kind of be their own thing. In a sense,
it's interesting because it's kind of both, right? Because it is still a representation of you because you're programming a lot of the inputs, but there's also pre-programmed inputs that you can't see until the end that affect how those inputs play out. And so it's this collaboration between you and sort of an algorithm or, the existing traits or AI, if you want to try and, it's not really AI yet, but to your point, it creates this it is a self-reflection, but it's also something enhanced or abstracted in some new way that then lives on the chain as its own entity. I don't know, man. Again, we had this convo yesterday. One of the things that came up is like, what would you suggest to artists that are trying to get into the space? They're trying to understand, like, what are NFTs? How do I succeed? Or what do I do? And one of the first things that I would always tell artists is to actually try and really understand the technology as good as you can, because this whole space is actually the commingling. It's art and tech, it's culture and tech. It's where these things come together. And the artists that really understand how to manipulate, experiment, apply the technology in unique ways with the art and with the culture, those are the projects that tend to get the most attention and really pop and be unique and memorable. And I think that's what's happening here. That's why I'm not surprised that this is already doing as well as it is, because it's something unique that uses the technology with the art in a very, very interesting, engaging way. It's different.
Okay, so yeah, big shout out to Mitchell Chan there for that drop and the success there. I think it was about 250,000 based on how many were minted there. And congratulations to all the collectors as well and the gamers. I mean, it's kind of a game, so you're getting involved there. All right, we're going to kind of fly through quick news here. We did have an update from an often not thought about exchange, LookRare. So this was from Lucky Trader. Shout out to Lucky Trader. Great morning spaces. About 30 minutes around 9 p.m. Eastern. They do a great job, actually 10 p.m. Eastern, but they do a fantastic job. Anyways, Lucky Trader's tweeting out here, LookRare enters season 3 of its rewards programs. Season 3 will last 8 weeks and distribute 1 million looks. So we see gamified, again, exchange activity, whether that leads to wash trading and things like that. We've seen it play out a little bit on Blur. LookRare, interestingly enough, if you guys aren't familiar, was one of the first ones to do it. OpenSea, as we know, has always stayed away from this. They've been very, corporate in the sense that they haven't launched an ERC20 token, a governance token, anything like that. LookRare was the first one to do it. It, in fact, did lead to a lot of wash trading, though. One of the craziest cases, it threw off all of the analytics for the entire year. I don't know if you remember that GIF we were showing, analytics on Dune, and it was one spike in December when LookRare dropped. It was a ridiculous amount of wash trading. So it doesn't do much for me. Not going to push me. Again, I'm not an active trader though. I might not be their target audience, but at least an update there from LookRare. Hopefully we can get another competitor into OpenSea and Blur.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you said. It's not the type of thing that's making me super excited or want to move. I think we do want as much competition in the marketplaces as we can get. So I hope they succeed. I hope it's good. And if you are trying to farm tokens, maybe it's an opportunity for you. It did remind me of one thing that I've been meaning to talk about that we haven't, that I just want to pull up really quick. And that's this bankless airdrop hunter. Have you seen this?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious about this, and I'm going to look more into it and maybe sign up, because basically the bankless team is launching a product to help you identify airdrop opportunities, and I think they're trying to rate them or give you some additional info to analyze what are the good opportunities. Hunt by likelihood. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about this. We haven't hit it yet, and seems like an interesting new product from a team that we like, which is Bankless. So,
all right, real quick, what are the projects they have as a high likelihood of dropping a token? Do you have that info?
No, I assume I have to sign up right now, right? So
okay,
right now there's 31 airdrop opportunities, and that's So right. I don't know right now. You have to sign up. That's the product, right?
Yeah,
so it'll be interesting to see if this is paid. I don't even know if this is paid. Do you have to pay a monthly subscription?
Probably. Or maybe hold their token. I don't know. DP's in the house saying, yo, Marty is saying Boys of Summer minted out on the allow list. No public, kind of effed. Also botted. So maybe we had some bot activity. It was a low supply. That would be unfortunate, but we'll continue to monitor that throughout the episode and maybe get you an answer there. Shout out to everybody watching there on Twitter. No Futuristic, I want to give you a shout out. I saw your reply there on our Twitter stream. All right, let's get into another big breaking news piece that happened right after we pressed end stream here on NFT Live yesterday. That is going to be the Snowfro and Prohibition.art collaboration. So we had Jordan Lyle to break down Prohibition.art on, I believe, NFT Live, but also GM Web3, and we've been collectors on that platform for a little while. So it's awesome to see this collab. I'm going to let the man, the myth, the legend, Jordan, speak for himself here, because they had an awesome video explaining this collection. Again, 0.01 ETH, I believe it's going to be on Arbitrum, but it is an ETH. So let's jump in.
Are we trailer maxis?
We were 100% trailer maxi.
All right, let's go.
In generative art, one of X, the art really isn't created until the collector hits mint. With what we're doing here, it kind of expands on that, evolves that a little bit, because not only does the person get to participate in the minting experience, they get to go create this art that they created digitally. These are essentially blueprints. They now get to take that and expand it into the physical universe, and they get to create this thing at home. It's really just up to people's imaginations how they want to realize this digital piece.
So you see it there, art and craft. It looks like there's going to be a physical component too, kind of a la the friendship bracelets that were launched on Art Block. So there's a lot of cool things to dive into. Again, shout out to Jordan and team for pulling Snowfro, man. This is going to be an awesome collab and very easy entry for a lot of folks.
Yeah, well, I'm not surprised. I think we kind of actually knew that there was going to be something Snowfro, because Jordan hinted at it on one of our interviews, but also because they partnered with Art Blocks on the platform, right? So Snowfro is very much invested in Prohibition succeeding, which is also just alpha in general. Like if you've been thinking about like, oh, maybe I should check out Prohibition, maybe not. Like the Art Blocks team and Snowfro are partnered on it. They want it to succeed, right? So just like keep that in mind. It's a great place to go check out and maybe just find some cheap mints over there and get some early Arbitrum generative art. And this might be the one. It's a low mint price. I think you brought up the friendship bracelets. I think that's a great call there. I think they probably saw the success, the virality, the shareability, stickiness, whatever you want to call it. The friendship bracelets was very successful as sort of like an airdrop or cheap mint, really accessible way to get into the generative art on the Art Blocks engine. And they saw so much. Like I don't know if you can pull it up, but like I'm curious what the secondary volume looks like on the friendship bracelets, because it was crazy how much those things were being traded. So I'm sure that they're hoping that these also gets that kind of traction, get some liquidity flowing, get some secondary volume and interest. I'm curious about the physical aspect and how that fits into this. Not gonna lie, it's kind of confusing to me, but also novel. I don't know that I've seen a generative art, like long form generative art PFP that has a physical aspect to it. So innovative. If that's what this is.
I'm trying to find the friendship bracelets now here on OpenSea. All right, so holy shit. All right, I'm gonna pull this up here real quick. Friendship bracelets by Alexis Andre, 17, almost 18,000 ETH in total volume.
Just on secondary.
Floor price is 0.1. Unique ownership around 32%. And again, there was like, I guess, and correct me if I'm wrong, Marty, there was a physical component here where they did give you, I think, the specs to create the friendship bracelets IRL. So that was the cool, innovative part of that as well. Nick Swerve is saying, did you have to KYC for Made by Apes? Called that. There was a Made by Apes, I guess, hack that happened here, like a data breach that we could cover here. That was definitely breaking news. So let me see if I can pull that up. Any last thoughts here on the Snowfro Prohibition piece?
Yeah, so that just on those friendship bracelets on the secondary, and again, we don't know what percentage was actually captured, given that secondary royalties can be hard sometimes. But 7.5% on that almost 18,000 is over $2.5 million off of a free airdrop just on secondary that they could have made. That's tremendous. I mean, holy heck. what they did with that project is amazing. And I don't think that we talk about it enough, frankly. So yeah, maybe this is a similar-ish moment, something, you know, obviously it's different. It's on Arbitrum, a new platform, but it's still the Artblocks engine. It's still Snowfro. So just something to really pay attention to. Again, the physical aspect of it is a question mark to me, because anytime that you are dealing with phygital and like the logistics of physical products, it makes things way more complicated, and it makes it a little bit more confusing too from a collector standpoint. You know, like the chasm of complexity is there now. It's like, why, like, how does that fit into the price or the value? Why do I care? If I get the physical, what does that mean for the NFT? Do I have to send that, or are they tied together? Do they set? It's just like, it opens up a range of different questions. So it's a big question mark to me of exactly how and why they want this physical aspect to be part of it. But that doesn't mean that the NFTs themselves still can't do really, really well and be interesting. And again, if it is a long form generative project from Snowfro that includes a physical item, I don't know if that's been done. I don't know if he's ever done it like Snowfro. So on its face, that's novel and interesting.
So August 24th is the date for that mint. I want to make sure I got the supply. I don't, maybe it was uncapped. Was it uncapped on the supply? Let me make sure before we move on to
open edition. Was that what you mean?
Yeah, I think it might be. But I don't want to speak without knowing. Okay. Let's see here. So Heart and Craft Inclusive NFT Collection coming August 24th. Any mint details here?
Yeah, maybe more info will come, you know.
What was the supply of friendship bracelets?
I think it was like 20,000. I mean, you had it pulled up.
Yeah, I did have it pulled up. I don't really want to get into it again. All right, we'll move on into what will essentially be a little bit of a Yuga show. Sorry, I just got a call. We did have a Made by Apes announcement. This had some Zach XBT mentions as well. So we got a mention from Yuga Labs here. Earlier today, Zach XBT made us aware of an issue with a Labs API for Made by Apes that allowed private information of MBA applications to be accessed. The issue was immediately resolved, and this information is no longer accessible. We are not aware of any misuse of the data. We are reaching out directly to anybody who was potentially exposed, and will offer fraud and identity protection for anyone who wants it. So there was, they're mentioning in MBA applications. I believe they had a cohort of individuals who took part in like a sprint, basically, of like, hey, we're gonna come out here, do a MBA camp for y'all, and then you're gonna be rolled out into the Made by Apes licensing agreements and all that stuff. So those are the individuals that are affected here. There's not really any positives to be taken away. When there's a data breach, I don't know how you're going to sit up here and defend anything from Yuga's standpoint. How it happened, they haven't made this, aware. But yeah, shout out to Zach XBT for catching this one and making sure that loophole or that breach got filled.
Yeah, Zach XBT having a big week. First of all, right? The whole MACHI defamation suit getting dropped, and then him being at the head of exposing some more, investigative, valuable journalism. I think there's something positive, and that's how quickly and professionally Yuga's handling the situation. I mean, obviously it's not great when any data gets leaked, but it's not like seed phrases or anything like that. It just has some personal info that, yes, that's not good. It's a relatively limited number of people that were doing the MBA applications. It sucks, but they're handling it very professionally, I think. And again, if you compare the way that this might be handled to a lot of other issues in the space, seems to be a very professional response, and they're offering contingency plans immediately and solutions for it. So I think it's obviously not a W from the standpoint of info getting leaked, but I think at least Yuga's responded really well, and that's great.
Yeah, it's good to see the comms there. It sucks for the individuals involved.
If only WAGMI United could communicate like that.
Yeah, actually. So we have been covering the WAGMI United piece as well. We're going to stay on this Yuga Lab show for a second, but the WAGMI United Discord actually got an announcement from one of those individuals who's still there. He was a member of the team at one point, got let go, but he's still there giving comms. So we've been touching on WAGMI United being actually almost defunct at this point, but apparently there's a WAGMI announcement incoming, folks. So within the next 2 days, we should get a WAGMI United update there.
Interesting. Also, Left Action House over here saying, "What are we, babies? Playing with blocks and friendship bracelets." Yeah, man, we're collecting cartoon JPEG animals, dude. Like, yes, we're all just big fucking kids gambling on fucking anime. Okay, like, yeah, it works. Yeah, it works.
Blocky style, like the most valuable PFP is just blocked. Like pixel art. So
a blocky baseball RPG just sold out, in seconds. But also a Squash Man coming in here with some more info on this Snowfro drop, saying it's an inclusive edition, whatever that means to you. Here it says there's no set time frames for the mint, but they reserve the right to cut it off at some point or potentially launch successive mints if they want to riff on the idea further. All right, interesting model.
So limited time edition is also being thrown out. I think that might be the best way to talk about it. All right, back into the Yuga Labs show. We have the Rec League announcement. So Rec League closed its allow list. We were kind of giving you guys updates there that was being closed. We want you to be fully prepared for Mint Day on August 17th. So we're hosting a space to cover all the details. So I'm tuning in. This is going to be at 3 p.m. So literally in 1 hour, the Rec League team is dropping in to drop more information. So I would tune in for that. I'll link that in the description there as well. And the other piece that I wanted to get into was going to be the Mutant Apes gift. Do you have the update on the Mutant Ape Fuck It Saturday event?
I can find it, but
I got the update. Just what was it?
Cool. Well, tickets are available. That's basically it. Token proof ticketing is available for the Fuck It Saturday event happening in late August in Miami. I'm not going to be there. Wish I could be there with the Mutants. Shout out to all y'all. It's going to be a great time because, yes, ASAP Ferg is the headlining music artist that was announced recently as well that we didn't really talk about. But that's dope. ASAP Ferg is dope. So, yeah, it's going to be a great time. Fuck It Saturday. Tickets available.
All right, this was the post from BAYC yesterday. It's a mutant party, but F it. Let's celebrate together. Saturday tickets are now available. Punks, Meebs, Codas, Dogs, Voyagers, Heavies, and 10 KTF holders while supply last. Ticket quantities are extremely limited. Does this worry you? Is this we couldn't sell out the tickets within the Mutants and Bored Ape Yacht? That's what comes to my mind right off the bat. Is they couldn't really make it as exclusive for the BAYC and MAYCs.
I disagree with that take. I mean, I understand why you go that way, but I don't think I think about it like that at all.
So why not just start out with it?
Okay, so for one thing, they're building an ecosystem, and at some point, they have to include other people in the ecosystem. So to me, I was asking, for Ape Fest, I don't have an ape right now. Are my heavies going to get me in? Are there other ways that I can get access to that as part of the ecosystem? So I think it's great that they are actually trying to make their events more inclusive for the larger ecosystem. I think that's the better way to build an ecosystem. And you got a bunch of heavies, Q. Don't you want those to matter at some point as well in different ways? But the other point, wait, real quick, let me finish this thought. The other reason why I don't think of it that way is this isn't Ape Fest. You know what I mean? This isn't their once a year giant fucking thing. This is its own new little Miami shindig called Fuck It Saturday. I've never done it before. And so I don't think that just by throwing out a Fuck It Saturday with a music performance, you're going to get Bored Apes and Mutant Apes from all around the world coalescing and traveling and buying plane tickets to fly there. You know what I mean? I just don't think that was the idea. This is meant to be, I think, a more inclusive, different thing than what Ape Fest is, which is a much bigger, multiple day, conference event of its own thing, right? This is more just a party. And to me, I'm really excited about the idea of Bored Apes and Yugas just starting to throw more parties that their whole ecosystem can get access to. I think that's fucking dope.
Yeah, agreed. Listen, I don't know if I like misspoke when I first like stated this this question, but like, why not just lead with it? I feel like you didn't really answer that point. Like it feels like they could have just said, "Hey, we're doing this all together," and that would have been the initial announcement. It now feels like they're going back because not enough people signed up.
So one reason why you would not lead with that is one, prioritizing the apes and mutants, giving them the first chance, making sure that they feel special and get in first.
I think you're simping a little bit here, but that's fair.
Oh, dude, I will simp for anybody trying their best to create cool experiences for a whole giant, complicated ecosystem.
Okay, when I state something, I feel like you take that and you're like, Q said this. And I'm like, wait, that's not what I said. I simply asked that why didn't they lead with this? Not, do I want more Yuga parties to be more inclusive? I want all of that. I want all of that. I would like more events. Yuga, please throw more events. Bored Ape Yacht Club, all the community events. I saw there was a yacht party that was actually being thrown by some of the community members. These are all great things. I just think coming out with, hey, we're actually open to everybody a week or two before the actual event seems like they're kind of running out of folks that want to go to this.
There's a good chance that maybe there's just not enough demand and interest. So you might be right about that. But also, like, to me, it's still very strategic. You prioritize the apes and mutants. You have the backup. And I would guess that they always planned to open it up at some point. I just think that they wanted to give mutants and apes the first chance, because if demand outstrips supply, then you don't make it into a bigger issue with the larger community.
I'm down for that. I could see the logic behind that. All right, we are going to move on. We still have to rank a little bit of NFT projects here today. This has always interested me. So Whale actually had this tweet. Have you ever wondered where your favorite NFT projects are located? I guess we could have found that out like on an individual basis, right? I'm sure if you like dive deep into where, you know, on each project's website, that you could find out where the headquarters were, but it's nice to see it on a little map here. So I'm going to jump into this map as best I can and see if we can't point out some that maybe we thought were in a different place, but actually are, you know, somewhere. So Doodles jumps out. It's in Vancouver. It looks like I can't tell if that's Claynosaurs there.
Yeah, that is.
That Claynosaurs? Is that Toronto? Yeah. That's like a little bit north of where Toronto would be. But okay, OpenSea, I'm guessing that's New York City. VFriends, New York City or Boston. I'm thinking that's New York City. We have Pudgy Penguins in NYC. Looks like Cool Cats is in Atlanta. Bored Ape Yacht Club in Miami. I'm sure that means Codas are in Miami. Punks somewhere. Is that Mobile, Alabama? What's happening here? I'm assuming that's Miami as well. Art Blocks in Texas. Let me know what stands out to you, Gif, on this list. And also, is that Puerto Rico? Is that
Art Blocks is in Austin. Maybe that is Puerto Rico, but yeah, it looks like some of the nouns and Digidaigaku and some of these other projects are down in the Caribbean islands, Bahamas, maybe.
Cuba.
Looks like Sandbox is in San Francisco, and then Artifact, I'm guessing that's like Wyoming.
Vegas.
Maybe Vegas or Wyoming or something. But yeah, Squiggles and Art Blocks is in Austin. That's cool to see. But I want to see. Yeah, I'm guessing that's Jack Butcher's somewhere out there in like Missouri or something. But I was curious to see who was in New Zealand. There was like one project out there in the middle of nowhere over in New Zealand.
Let's go national here. So Rareable looks like it's in Chicago potentially. That's Wolf Game, and then O'Pepin's like in the middle of the South. It looks like. Let me zoom out and let me try to.
Maybe that's why Rareable's not doing well. Maybe they got to relocate out of the Midwest.
Yeah, get out of the Midwest. There has to be people there. I don't want to shit on people from the Midwest, of course. All right.
No, just Chicago. Just Chicago specifically.
It looks like Adidas, of course. They're in Germany. Is that Mechaverse? Tell me that's not Mechaverse.
I think it is.
God. We're getting a geographic lesson here. Is that Lyon?
Cannes. It's got to be Cannes, right? The south of France. I don't know. Yeah, maybe Lyon.
We have one in Spain. I can't.
Canary Islands. Yeah, that's got to be the Canary Islands. Wrecked guy is in Canary Islands, Gran Canaria. What? What?
Prodigy said, "F you, I'm in OKC." All right. I don't know what's in Paris there. I can't really make that logo out either. But Chimpers and a few other Sappy Seals in the UK. It looks like we might have. Is that a Northern Ireland project? Good Lord. And then we have a World of Women in London as well. Let's zoom out just a little bit more. Let's go to
World of
Asia.
Women. That makes sense. World of Women looks like a London project to me now that you say it.
Surprised there's no projects coming out of Russia. That's a large landmass to not have a single NFT project from, although there probably is some.
Well, all the rugs come out of there. If we did a map of rugs.
That's fair. It would have a high priority. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
This is... Ooh, I have it on the tip of my tongue. What project is this? Kaiju Kings.
Kaiju Kings.
It looks like Kaiju Kings, Captains... Oni Force,
Meme Land, and Oni Force in China.
Hong Kong?
China or Hong Kong? Yeah, probably mostly Hong Kong over there.
Interesting.
I guess I'm guessing that Oni's new management team, like the company that actually bought it, is based in Hong Kong. I believe that adds up.
That looks like Axie Infinity. Is that Indonesia?
Indonesia is where Axie's been huge, so that makes sense too.
And then we have a couple here in Australia.
Is that Melbourne? I think that's Melbourne.
Fluff World. I think that's
Fluff
Sydney.
World. No, it's not Sydney. I think I don't know if it's Melbourne, but it's closer to Melbourne than Sydney. But yeah, Fluff World over there in New Zealand. That's cool.
All right, we're getting to the bottom of this.
I have to say though, whale.swoosh. What the heck, man? No DBs
on the right coast. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, no DBs on here. I'm offended. You got to throw us in over there in LA, bro. Come on, man.
Looks like Adelaide is where they're from, if not Melbourne. Like if they just like have it posted on Australia, maybe there has to be more projects there from Australia. So yeah, at least he did an okay job. He got about 25 projects on this list, so that's fair. I feel like we need some South American. We need some Africa here. Canada doesn't have nearly enough. We need a Hawaiian NFT project. Come on, guys.
Marty, bringing us back down to earth as always, man. Appreciate you keeping us honest. These Yuga shows can just get serious. But he did agree with me. I don't think as many people are flying to Miami for it. That's part of what I was saying. So, all right, Marty's, agreeing there.
All right, Nick is saying, throwing this out there again, next Monday night, open invite to all the NFT fam to come through for sushi and sake, 50x more utility than fuck it Saturday. Drop that restaurant again. I would love to get the info out to everybody. I'll leave that in the description as well, Nick. I'll reach out to you after the show and put it in the description for those of y'all that would like it. Prodigy saying, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, tag me on Twitter. That's the type of stuff that's cool, man. We can share that around with our friends. See if anybody takes you up on it, because that's really awesome of you to offer that. So tag us on the X, man, and we'll try and at least let some of our followers know.
All right, we are going to get to the back half of the episode here and then rank some projects. The biggest story of the past week and a half, and I'm kind of frankly just tired of talking about it, DeGods. Frank has been on a tweet spree or a posting spree talking about, hey, this is going to be a new era for us. Like, we got to take the bad with the good, just is really turning himself now into an underdog. So I'll go through some of his tweets, but the bigger story is the floor price and what is happening to that collection. It was 9 ETH like 5 seconds ago, and now it's fallen below 5. And MACHI has taken this time to scoop up more DeGods. And we know this, we know what happens in this timeline. And Gif, I know you had a dope meme that if you could share that, I would love it. But like, we've seen this before. You in Yacht Club, you're in Azuki. I don't know what other collections MACHI has bought up and then subsequently just destroyed. But this guy's playing games at this point. So.
Yeah, he really is. And I think we were talking this morning, like he's one of the few sort of big whales that has a lot of capital that is actually out there just like throwing it around right now, just manipulating markets at will on his whim. And yeah, let me see if I can find this meme because it's actually hilarious. And it was one of my favorite memes of the last week or so.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah.
Frank, to your point, he's turning himself, into the underdog, but also like a motivational speaker now, I think, of sorts. And I guess, you got to wear many hats. You got to take on many different roles as you roll with the punches on these types of projects. And yeah, man, I don't envy him. I don't envy any founders right now in the space that are trying to figure out how to build and maintain and sustain. So, I think he's doing the best that he can. But I will say, there's a clip out there that we clipped, check the tape, check the reel of me basically saying that any of the people out there saying that he did all this on purpose and it was some brilliant masterminded reverse Uno card were smoking copium. I feel pretty solid about that take at this point. I think how it's played out. All right, here's this one. This is one of my favorite memes of the last week or so. It's a rite of passage for the DeGods, and the Bored Apes know it all too well. Machi's coming for your bags. Get used to it.
Yeah, I'm going to pull up the floor price here on DeGods as well, just to give you guys a look. It is the most traded NFT by far. Again, it looks like floor price is sitting at 4.08. I think some folks like Thread Guy even hopped in and said they like swept the floor to take it up to about 4.20, which of course is the meme in and of itself. But owners 29% still. You can see the 30-day chart does not look good. Where it goes from here, so there's like multiple different conversation points, right? And you can look at the Cirrus post we did yesterday. So this is showing that Machi has essentially bought up more than 300 DeGods. I don't know what he's sitting at today. If anybody could go into that wallet search and let us know, that would be dope. But 350 underwater loans. To take that even further, this is a more recent post from NFT Stats saying 80 DeGods loans defaulted/seized today. People often talk about loan defaults driving this downward move, but the real driver has been long-term holders selling. 760 NFTs have dumped into bids for the first time versus 209 defaulted loans have been seized. So
that's the downward spiral in the gasoline that these types of tools create in bear situations. And we now have a great term for this, which is the blender. They are in the blender now. So just gotta watch out. It's, the term catching a falling knife. Now it's like sticking your hand into the blender. Because once things start dropping, loans get defaulted, people find out about the amount of leverage that it's turning on them, that people are going to default more. All the longtime holders start to say, I better get out now, take what I can, because this is probably going lower. All that feeds back into this negative feedback loop that Blur is known for. Frankly, we've been saying that since the beginning. And, like it or not, yes, they can create more liquidity, and sure, you can find some good sides, more competition. They're just doing, but they have definitely profited off of this sort of predatory lending, negative feedback loop, the farmers, all this type of shit. And it just puts projects in a tough spot whenever the narrative turns against them, man, because
I push back just a little bit because Stats is saying that this exact thing. People often talk about loan defaults driving the down move, but the real driver has been long-term holders selling. Like that has nothing to do with Blend.
Yes, it does. That's what I'm just saying.
It's related, but it's not the main fact. He's literally saying in black and white, it's long-term holders selling.
Okay. What I'm trying to say is, would some people be selling right now regardless of anything? Sure. But I bet it would be like 5 to 10% of the people that are. A lot of those people are doing what the Bored Apes have been doing over the last couple months, which is they say, holy shit, this $500,000 asset that I thought that I had, it keeps going down. Where do I get off this thing and take the W? And so when they see all of that negative selling pressure coming in, the loans defaulting, more people start selling, and it creates a massive run. It's a sell-off. So I think they're very closely related. That would be my argument. I don't know. So I don't know, man. Again, I think that's the negative feedback loop that's happening right now, which is the blender, in my opinion. And then this is why, Bird over here saying the DeGods are going to hit 2 ETH. That's basically what I said too, because it seems to me we now have seen this play out over the last year on Blur with all these different big projects, the quote unquote blue chips that have been at that anywhere between the 5 to 15 ETH floor. I mean, you look at Azuki. Azuki was at a 15 ETH floor. And even that has gotten down to like 4 ETH. But most of them that were at that 5 to 10 ETH floor, they've all dropped down to like 2 ETH or even below, like 1.5 ETH. And so it just kind of seems like shit, man. We've seen how this plays out. There's a good chance that it goes lower. And I think a lot of people are feeling that way.
Yeah, let's see what y'all think. I dropped the poll in chat. What will the Gods floor be in 1 month? Is it going to be above 4 ETH, which is where it's sitting right now, 3 ETH or below, or 2 ETH and below? So you have 3 options. Good luck. Take a gander at that poll. To me, yeah, we've had this conversation for almost a full calendar year at this point. I think a lot of this doesn't matter if you can somehow drive demand from unique buyers. Like, that's the problem. There's no liquidity in this space. So Blur does in fact highlight that. And I will say that you're correct in that sense. But if there was more unique demand for these assets, we wouldn't see the issues that we have. There just isn't. It's fully speculative at this point. If you're buying into Bored Ape Yacht Club at 28, I don't think you see the demand or the utility on the other side of that, which is why we've sat up here and said, damn, maybe, Bored Ape floor, if the sentiment is not there, will continue going downwards. So until you get to some level where the actual utility or the value derived matches with the floor price, it won't matter. It's just speculative. That's why you see a DeGods at 90, because they're running. People are trying to bet on them. It's not long-term holders. We need to do more for driving that long-term holders. And GIF, we sit up here and speak about Onia all day. That, I feel like, is a project that hopefully, with everything they're doing, is adding long-term holders ever so slightly. That's the hope. Everything is speculation at this point. And so Blur's just highlighting that.
Yeah, and one way to kind of track that is by looking at the unique holder ratio and the percentage over there. So something that we are always paying attention to. It's just, to your point, like, the new thing that's actually creating something novel and unique will still get some attention right now, like Boys of Summer, which just sold out 1,000 pieces at a 0.12 mint. But other than that, all of that liquidity is just, it's kind of like everything that's left in the space is mercenary capital, where it's like everybody's just speculating, They're like trying to make a quick scalp here and there. There's no loyalty because everybody's just surviving at this point. And so it's kind of like, again, that PvP nature has just completely taken hold over everything. Mm-hmm. The loyalty to any brand or project is very, very low. You're only in something right now because you believe that it's a store of value that's definitely going to hold its value or go up in the not too distant future. And everything else is kind of bullshit to try and flip on. And that's honestly just the way that it is right now. And it fucking sucks to say that. But you see that playing out, man, in these markets. All of those holders that were, I bet you a bunch of those sellers, to your point, Q, were the like ride or die Frank DeGods, fucking Utes DeGods for life. This is me. I'm going to tattoo it on my fucking face, bro. But they're all selling now because at a certain point they see their asset crumbling and they say, shit, I got to pay rent for the next couple months. I don't have a fucking job, and that's just what it is.
Yeah. This is a great, I think, showcase here of the longtime sellers holding. These are just NFTs that are being sold, and it's quadrupled almost since earlier this month. Like, that is fucking wild to see that amount of sell pressure, and that's because these are just used as speculative assets, to your point, GIF. Like, that is wild. To see out in the wild. So again, NFT stats providing some good info there. To wrap up this quick DeGods cap on where we're at right now, Points Parlor did launch. This is a great update from whale.swoosh. All packs cost about 400 D points, equal to about 6.66 hours of staking. Prices double every 30 days, adjusting for points inflation. There are 3, so that's the price of like what it gets you. And we can go into showing off examples there. There are 3 different types of packs. The more packs you open within 24 hours, the more expensive. So there's some gamified stuff there. Prizes are bound to respective DIDs. the big prizes for the first week: Tesla, MacBook Pro, Samsung. So it's kind of like a little bit of a casino. You know what it reminds me of, Gif, is that those penny platforms where you could like kind of use like, it was almost like a penny auction for large items. Like you could get a MacBook Pro for like $2.31, but you would have to bet a bunch of different times. So that's what it looks like as far as the rewards here. You're spending a little amount of rewards on some higher value items, it looks like.
You know, I think you're right, but it also just makes me think more about how much all of this revolves around gambling. Like that's all this is, man. It's the lottery. These are all they're all just like lotto tickets, just like the packs, opening packs that gaming companies actually got into a lot of trouble for selling packs to a bunch of kids. Kids were using their parents' credit cards to spend thousands and thousands of dollars to crack digital packs open. And it's all just fucking gambling, man. And I guess that's what a lot of games are. And this is why also I'm kind of bullish on Rec League. Prodigy over here saying that I can't wait to yoink someone's fucking mech in Rec League and type GG easy and leave their asset, bro. It's like, dude, man, like humans a lot of us just love to fucking gamble, and that's a big part of what gaming is. When you think about sports, that is a gamble. Like, whether or not you're betting on it, like even if you're playing in the game, you are gambling against another team. You're saying, I'm going to put my life, my body, my effort, my energy on the line to try and win over these other people. It's just an interesting part about our competitive nature that I'm just realizing, like, more and more, this shit's just gambling, and that just seems like a lottery, which is cool if it's actually valuable to the holders. Like, there's nothing wrong with it.
And we also do our best to highlight projects, even if their floor price is going down. We do our best to highlight projects that are trying to flip that script, not just be, hey, let me launch a utility token to drive up interest, or let me do a secondary drop so that everybody floods into my project, and eventually we just die anyways, because that's not long-term sustainable. So that's what we're trying to do, and there are projects doing it. You brought up Pudgy's right in the beginning. I think they're one that stands out to not being about just gambling. But we are seeing the fear, like to your point, we are like the psychological fear has hit DeGods holders, and long-term holders are selling. Short-term holders have no, like, any type of loyalty to that project. So they're going to be, selling it. But you see the psychological fear hitting that floor price.
At the end of the day, people are loyal to their money. And I did want to just bring up this one story real quick, because it was a big headline that also, is, if we're looking at like, where does liquidity come from? How is there any hope, in the future? I actually feel like this was a pretty big headline dropping today. And that's that Coinbase, after 2 years, how do I fucking turn this off? Sorry. Let me get this.
That is my pain. That is my
pain. So Coinbase finally winning approval to list crypto futures in the US. This approval makes Coinbase the first crypto, this is again very confusing, the first crypto first platform to offer regulated and leveraged crypto futures alongside traditional spot trading. So yeah, this is to me, I think, a big step forward on the regulatory front, getting some kind of clarity, at least around futures. Coinbase having a big win here. This took them 2 years. And I think you had a really interesting point about the confusion again of where the SEC's standing versus the CFTC or whatever this governing body is that they're going through. Just doesn't seem like they're on the same page.
It doesn't. What you're looking at here, folks, when you see a story like this, is also the rocket fuel being put into the barn, being put into not use. Like, we won't see it now. I mean, certainly there's going to be retail traders that use leverage, right? But we've seen Binance, we've seen a couple other platforms have the ability to put down leverage and different futures trading. The ability to have 10x leverage on Coinbase for retail traders whenever that bull market returns is a wild amount of rocket fuel. Like, that is where the primary US based trading is happening. And to have leverage, I don't know to what extent. I don't know if they're doing 2, 3x, 10x, what have you, but that is also rocket fuel. So although it's not working in our favor now, it's unfortunate. We need to drive more demand. How do we drive more demand? And I think it's creating really cool IP, showcasing that IP, and then driving different utilities for that. That's always been the case, though, right? It's just like projects were LARPing for a long time.
Yeah, we need more apps, man. That's like, so much of this comes back to the fact that we're all out here measuring protocols, man. Like, my tech's better than your tech, blah, 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 bro. But like, show me why I care. Give me a reason to be there. And we need more dope apps. But anyway, Jacob, clip the Coinbase segment. Q knocked it out of the park.
Let's go. All right. I don't think we'll get to this ranking today because we're sitting at about an hour now.
Oh, no.
I did want to end with a topic here that you brought up on the GM Web3 Morning Show. I want to get y'all's take as well. So if you're here, you're listening to us, if you're on Twitter, if you're on Twitch, please leave a comment wherever you can. And this was a really cool topic, which is, and we just talked about projects that were trying to do it the right way. Well, there are actual people trying to do this the right way as well, right? Like individuals that are not just parroting larger accounts, parroting the, thought of the day. I think Black Dave was brought up, 6529 was brought up. A lot of really cool individuals brought up. So I open that question up to NFT Live people now as well, the community, to you, GIF. We can kind of further expound on this before we end the episode. Who are the thought leaders today? One that we need more of, but just so I can follow them. Like, if y'all have people that I'm not following yet, I want to be following them. So let's get your take here, GIF, and then I'll give a little bit of my take on the issue as well.
Well, first and foremost, I would be remiss not to mention you, Nifty Q. You've been a long time thought leader in the space, and I look up to you a lot, especially on the more financial DeFi side of things. You fill in some of my blank spots on that side. But no, we had a great convo around the real curators, thought leaders, to your point, people that have original ideas in the space that aren't just parroting the recent catchphrase, hype is dead. Obviously, Frank DeGods is doing a good job of building his own culture, but also I think he's a little bit of a mirror. But he's definitely leading the conversation, knows how to get people's attention and have people talk about what he's thinking. So we got to give him some love on that front. 6529, you mentioned. Jordan Lyle came up. I think you're the one that brought him up. He's definitely been at the forefront of a lot of this. I threw out Black Dave and Trish just as two friends that have been original thinkers, regardless of who likes them or who doesn't. They're going to say what they think, and curate different people in the space in their own ways and ideas. Go ahead, Q, jump in.
No, if we could take this a little bit slower so I could pull them up on the screen, but I loved how you said Frank DeGods is a mirror, because I think he's intentionally doing that, right? Like, he is literally just trying to be what the space wants him to be almost. He like actively is choosing that role. He's kind of playing a character.
He's kind of playing a character.
Yeah. And where others that you see are not, that's because he has a project to lead, and we don't know the right business model around PFPs, right? And clearly they're struggling right now, but previously he's had success doing that model. So I think that's why he's doing it. Say yours again real quick, because Jordan Lyle was one that I mentioned. I'll pull him up, but we talk about him all the time. But who else?
Well, I would definitely throw 6529 in there. I brought out a Black Dave and Swoosh, aka Trish. I want to throw Gary V out there. I know Marty's going to flame me for simping, but early on, that guy has been one of the actual people out there talking, thinking about the space, providing a lot of people's own ideas that they regurgitate. So I think he deserves some respect. Frank DeGods deserves some respect. The one other one that came up today that I actually want to bring this up as like a fun note as well. So I'm going to try and pull this up real quick. It was, excuse me, it was actually shared in the Milk Road newsletter today. And that's OX Designer. So this person, OX Designer, is sharing a lot of interesting ideas daily, where it's just like concepts. They're just concepting out interesting different things. And this is the latest one, staking registries for weddings. So again, this coming from OX Designer, who again is just creating, you might have seen some of their funny different mock-ups or concepts that they put out there, because I've seen several of them come across my timeline, but this was a fun one that just got shared out. And again, this is what thought leadership looks like: coming up with original application ideas, sharing out original ideas that nobody's thought of, getting other people talking about, unique applications, ways that you can use this technology. But this was a hilarious conversation around why or why not you might want to stake people's ETH on people's marriages. And, if the marriage lasts, you get to keep the ETH. If not, the ETH gets redistributed. What kind of incentives does that create? And it's at least a very original idea and a fun conversation. So OX Designer, that's an interesting one to call out.
Love that. All right, I'm checking on any last breaking news here as we end the episode. Yatsu was brought up in chat. We bring up Yacht a bunch. You should already know this man, but I do feel like he's almost misidentified as just being a Web3 leader or Web3 gaming leader. I think in general, he can have some crossover. He does have some fingers, if you will, in PFP projects, and they're able to kind of like do the cross sector thing. And I think Yacht is definitely one of them. There's a couple others, man. Like one of the things I brought up on the show too is it feels like X doesn't reward these people. Like it definitely does. Don't get me wrong. These people are huge for the most part. There's others that are like more, organic in from the grassroots, community, like a Black Dave, like Trish and these others. But I wish I got shown more content that was actually good. And that, I feel like X doesn't really reward that behavior. It rewards kind of that parroting. And I love a good meme, but I wish there was a better mixture. I do feel like we don't get a ton of great content on X. Who are some others, man?
DP kind of aligning with you there, saying I used to share a ton on Twitter, but I'm not going to lie, it can be exhausting. It's a thankless job. So much respect to those who stay consistent. Yeah, man, it's a grind, and some people just they want to live their lives there and thrive on it. I don't particularly. We're obviously trying to get better. We're doing things like the rehash too to try and bring more value and curate all these awesome headlines. So we appreciate the ones of y'all, by the way, that have been sharing those and liking those. But yeah, to your point, Q, like the algos are not optimized for original, interesting thoughts all the time. And somebody said this yesterday. I think it was Trish maybe said the term optimizing for the mid, and so many of these algorithms and apps are optimizing for mid, and it's just the way that they work.
It's a really great take. That's a I think there was there was a message from like some Sherpa or some like cult leader at one point that's become a meme. It's like, I don't like something to the effect of like, people are stupid. That's exactly. He's like, I don't want people making decisions about what we're going on here because people are stupid.
Wasn't that Alexander Hamilton?
Maybe it's Alexander. Maybe they came to the same conclusion. Hey, well, listen, we have a WAGMI United update. By the way, we covered WAGMI this week. It looks like they put out their first official announcement.
That's exciting.
I do want to stay on the good though. I'm trying to wrap my head around 6529 is a great one. That would have been my first go there. I think Kobe is one that's not thought about. He's more on the crypto side, crypto Twitter side. But I appreciate Kobe and his like long form thoughts and long form content. DP saying I write long form content. You can read a lot of it. My past work on the Alio Trade Substack. So I didn't know that you were working with Alio Trades. That's pretty cool. 6529 would be my guy. Kobe, Yatsu, Jordan Lyle, all of these guys. Brian Armstrong, Ryan Selkis, I think as well, do a lot on the, I think, more regulatory front. Like they cover my blind spots on that side of trying to figure out where crypto lies into the future with regulation.
Look, and I would have to, first of all, Squashman saying when marriage DAO, great question. But I would have to throw Snowfro out there too, because his entire platform, Artbox, is a curation platform. And if you want to think about one person that has shaped the entire direction of NFTs, digital art, and changed many artists' lives and even collectors' lives, he's up there, man. He's one of the biggest thought leaders and curators and tastemakers alive probably right now. So Snowfro has to be in there.
Yeah, we lost a good one, I think, with Gordon. Garg is doing a good job as well. Like those guys are leading the project. I'm mentioning a lot of really like larger influencers. I really like the takes from Black Dave. I like his long form content, his videos. So I need to maybe come back to this question. I feel like I was setting up the question and didn't have great answers on the like more grassroots side, right? Like
Yeah.
we mentioned a ton of great stewards for the space, but who are the ones that are maybe more underrepresented? That's a great take.
Well, Sarah
Shane
Script,
Mayfield.
Sarah Script and Jessica Yatrowski got some love in that convo too. And also I have to mention a new title bestowed upon me by Owen Rogers, the Goku of Ethereum. I don't even know what that means, but I'm gonna take it, bro. I will take that.
That I am extremely jealous of that nickname. Yeah, last one I'll say is Kane Mayfield. I think he has original thoughts. I think
Oh, for
Kane
sure.
goes out there. You know, Kane goes out there on a limb a lot. We don't always agree, but I agree with where he comes from and what he's doing. So he's great.
He is authentic, and he's never going to be parroting somebody else's bullshit.
There you go.
He'll be the first one to call you out, and he definitely has a lot of big thoughts of his own. So yeah, I agree. Kane Mayfield.
Okay, I would have preferred a lot more activity here from y'all. I don't see any that are coming out from you guys on like people that we could follow. We came up here and we're telling you about people that we love in the industry. Who do y'all appreciate? Although Prodigy and DP are nominating themselves. All right, last take here before we end the episode. We have been covering the WAGMI United situation. Just a quick update.
I can't read that.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it larger for everybody here. These are just the constraints we deal with X. WAGMI United has cut off ties with their Discord server. They pretty much just fired the last employee for WAGMI United. What that means, nobody knows because they haven't calmed at all, even with their larger investors like G Money, G Funk, I believe. These guys were commenting that they haven't heard anything from Eben or Preston in a long time. They had a large list of big investors. This is one of the most high profile projects to pull this move. People thought it was a rug. So this is the response by the team. We'll read into it. If you can't read it, I'm sorry at home, but I will do my best. In recent days, we parted ways with a moderator of our Discord server. We'd first like to thank our moderators for all the efforts over the past year and their dedication. Some have wrongly interpreted moving towards an unmoderated Discord as a signal that WAGMI United is abandoning Web3 and rugging our community. Nothing could be further from the truth. Our first priority is Crawleytown FC, and our focus right now is fully on the start of the new season and supporting Scott, his staff, and the players. However, contrary to online speculation, WAGMI United remains committed to bringing innovative ideas and passionate communities to the world of sports, and that includes continuing to deliver value and utility to our existing NFT holders. It's no secret that bridging the gap between Web3 and the traditional football world has been more challenging than expected. While we're proud of so much of what we've done over the past year, organizing a fan vote to yada, 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 there were also plenty of hiccups, false starts, and lessons learned along the way. We're grateful to everyone in our global community for sticking with us, and we look forward to building on our successes, learning from our mistakes, and finding new ways to deliver all of you in the days ahead. To that end, we are actively engaged in evaluating Web3 strategy and determining how we can best engage the NFT community in a way that offers ongoing value to holders and respects the feelings of local Crawley supporters and honors the tradition of this historic club while also expanding its appeal to new fans around the world.
Oh,
that's all well and good. That's all well, great. Whoever did the PR for them, great job. Just talk to us. That it was such an extremely low bar to actually engage with your large scale investors as well as the community members here, to the point where a Discord mod was getting fired and everybody thought WAGMI United was a rug, which the jury's still out based on what they've been able to produce. So, for me, this is a great, and well-worded response to everybody's worries, but the bar was so low of just fucking communicating with the people who are interested and are vested in this project. It's ridiculous not to say anything.
Yeah. Your angst is felt. I agree on the communication being poor because they let the narrative get ahead of them instead of getting ahead of the narrative, and that was their cardinal sin here. Maybe if what they say is true and we're trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, they still put themselves into a bad spot by not getting ahead of that narrative and communicating more clearly around what was going on. I'll also say this. I've been getting some shade for not being super into Discord. Let's put it that way. I'm not like the biggest fan of Discord for a lot of reasons, and it can be exhausting and taxing as a founder when you don't have a bunch of team and resources. And this to me is an example of the pitfalls of Discord. Like, you have to maintain this like ever-present community engagement constantly in a fucking Discord server, keep it up to date, whatever. And if you don't do that, you're a fucking rug.
They did that, Gift. They literally have, they weren't able to deliver free watching for the games, but they do have, like, every game, there's people that hop into the channel. These moderators were great at maintaining that.
Right. But what I mean is, the downside is if something happens to the Discord mods or you can't support Discord anymore, you're a rug. You know what I mean? It's like, well, I'm not saying, again, like, to your point, the jury's still out on where it's going to go from here and what actually is going on. So I'm not saying it's not necessarily, but I just mean this idea that, like, people jump to these conclusions just because there's some confusion around Discord moderators. It's just, I just wanted to point out again, a sort of downside of this whole Discord culture, and that being such a focus for some of these NFT projects, where it sounded like what they're saying to them is like, dude, we've been investing so much in Discord right now. Like, we really need to focus on the team and like how we're doing there. And again,
your point is super well taken. It shouldn't be applied to WAGMI. It shouldn't be applied to it. Yeah, but yes, that is agreed.
I just wanted to call out that Discord is somehow at the center of this issue right now. And I just wanted to throw that in there. I, like you were saying, agree that, like, this is solid PR, but what are they actually delivering? And that's the concern still to me, right? Because there's really no answers provided. It's just trying to smooth over the current situation and say things are happening, we'll look forward to it, but there's really no there's no clear answers. And so I'm still very concerned. And the responses from the co-founder / advisor investors that were on Twitter of also feeling like they had zero idea and kind of distancing themselves. Yeah.
So we're actually in real time. I'm actually going into the Discord, and to Eben and Preston's point. Okay. So we're actually getting a little bit of heat here, from our video for covering it. One of the only actual, like, larger media companies that is covering this stuff, right? It went viral off just a random tweet. So I do want to get into what I'm being shown here on Discord. So this is a response to us. NFT Live covered it quite extensively in their last video. Only NFT people should watch it, though. It's kind of the point. So take that with what you will. It will just make long-term fans angry. Yeah, this isn't the channel for Crawley Town FC fans. It's unfortunate, but this is, to Evan and Preston's point, this is the problem with combining both and trying to do what they did. But interesting to hear the NFT perspective. The public part of this Discord featured quite prominently, though. So I would ask them, if you have such disdain for English football fans, how did they think this was going to work? However you cut it, the fans are the customers. I understand what they're saying. WAGMI shouldn't have tried to sell NFTs to town fans, but they didn't try that. The problem was that you had a separate influx of new people to the Crawley Town community. It was the fact that there were two entirely separate communities that caused the resentment. You can't have a business with two separate groups of customers who hate each other. I don't think the NFT folks hated the Crawley Town fans. There's one piece. Do you want to link this? And I mean, we're going a little bit over. Do we want to link out this episode to the Discord right now?
Sure. I mean, why not? Yeah, because we're here for, like, we're just trying to find the truth and have open dialogue about it. You know, we're not trying to push any sort of agenda. And I think the conversation's healthy. But I agree with you on that note, like saying that two groups of people that hate each other, like NFT people don't hate, like we're football fans. Like, yo, I'm rocking a fucking Mutant Ape football jersey right now, bro. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm not sure where that idea comes from. I think much more likely English football fans hate NFT people. That's probably legit. But also what he said there at the end that you just commented on, like the challenge of why you like trying to bring these two things together is a challenge or doesn't really work. I think that's what we were kind of saying too, right? Like clearly, and he said that in their PR, they said this was a bigger challenge than we expected, which maybe you should have expected it to be a bigger challenge, but whatever.
When you don't deliver value, and it's very clear on the sports side, right? It's a very intangible on the NFT side, although maybe you could point to floor price, but I think most people that know anything know that floor price isn't the greatest indicator right now of a team that's performing. But on the football side, it's very clear. You get relegated, you lose points, you get points for winning. They fucked that up. You know, they went through like 4 different coaches at Crawley Town in one season. I think it was three different managers. So they didn't offer value. That's why people are mad. Not that we're mad at each other. At least that's what it feels like. I get, again, this goes back to our original point though. Crawley Town FC fans did not like NFT people right out the jump. That's all we were saying. They're not going to like NFTs. Trust me, we know. We put out the short stories, the short videos on YouTube that tell us to blow our brains out for having NFTs and for collecting NFTs. Like, trust me, we know about the outside world's thought process on NFTs at this point. But go ahead.
No, I don't really know. Like, I don't know if we want to read more of that.
Yeah.
Or what we're hoping to get to here. Like, I'm here for the convo if you want to have it.
For sure. I think it's interesting that we're getting a comment from a Crawley Town FC folk too, right?
Yeah, it would be great to get a Crawley fan actually on the show. So to this G Delore, I don't know how to say that name. I apologize if I'm butchering it. If you want to come on the show and share your thoughts, like let's have the convo, because I think it seems like they're coming at this like we're trying to shit on it or hoping that it fails, where we've been supporting this thing, wanting it to succeed. Like this is a big L for us, for NFTs, for the whole culture that we care about. This is a big L for us for this to not go well. So if that's not clear that like we're actually talking about this because we care and we're upset and we want it to go well,
I do want to reach across the aisle too. Like there were thoughts, who knows now the situation that we're in, but the people that collected this with us, Mike, Gifted, like a lot of folks that are in our circle that collected the WAGMI United NFT, we wanted to be fans of Crawley Town. Like I spent money watching Crawley Town play at like 8 a.m. in the morning. Like,
well, we kind of are now. Like I never like to also be fair about like maybe the silver lining here. Crawley Town was never on my radar.
Yeah.
Ever. And so there is now a whole new subset of audiences, global audience, that may at least know about Crawley Town or have some interest in how they perform and care. And there's a whole bunch of jerseys now out around the world to new people that are going to be rocking those everywhere that they go. Yep. So, you know, if I don't know, I'm trying to like maybe put some lipstick on a pig here, but like, I actually think that the NFT community has been supportive of this and wanting it to work. And I now am sort of like an adjacent, interested Crawley Town supporter. I would watch their games, and I have watched some of their games now. I never would have done that if it wasn't for this.
Yeah, we're going over, folks, but I think this is really cool because what you're saying, Gif, I think is happening in the Discord as well. There's some people that are supporting the side of like, we don't really not like or why do we have to hate each other? We didn't hate each other. So he's saying, I do get that you think they're English folks that only want to drink beer and watch football, but this is an inaccurate stereotype. You are right, though, that it's shaped British football fans' notions of NFTs. I actually was intrigued by Web3 and initially gave the holders' idea a lot of respect. They were using new terminology, but I really did take the time to mine down and see if there was any substance there. I can honestly say that in my too long life, I have never encountered a group of people I now have such a low opinion of, which is a pity because the three of you on NFT Live seemed informed about NFTs, at least. Definitely not lower league football. Agreed. Us in the US, we have more of a support and interest, obviously, in the local and regional pieces in our country, right? The NFL, MLB, basketball, all these things. You're muted. Oh yeah, you're good. No, you're good.
I'm actually very invested in Premier League, but yeah, I don't know very much other than like I'm just getting introduced to lower level through Welcome to Wrexham.
That's true.
And through Crawley Town WAGMI United. These are like my first real introductions to lower league, as you're calling it, football. But I like if you don't think I'm interested in European football or EPL, like you're wrong. Like it's the one sport that I really care about.
It's very much our version of like AAA baseball, right? Like how would I expect some guy in Spain to know what the local AAA football team or baseball team is doing in my area? Like that's what this could be associated to if you're looking for any like relevant analogy. So you're right. We don't know that much about lower league football, right? So that is true. Let's see. If there are people in your community who actually have decent ideas for how football can be disrupted, they'll get no traction now because of WAGMI United. If you do want to do something with the project, I think you need to do it in tandem with fans, not separately. I hate the type of abuse that Preston has been subjected to as much as you all do, but there is a playbook for when your club has owners that you need to get rid of, and it works. My express concern is that it will damage the club as well, but unless you have one community, this will never be. To use one of the G's words, fun. One last thing, the idea of decentralized ownership and decision-making is actually something that English fans can get behind. You'd be surprised how savvy some of the Crawley fans actually are. They're actually better at this stuff than the Web3 community. They just don't couch it in meaningless word salad. Ouch. That one hurt. Hold on. A lot of that was good. A lot of that was positive. A lot of that I agree with. The piece that and I think you guys, I hate even using the term. Like it feels like we're separating the two bases. I've never thought of it that way, but like the lack of communication from Preston and Eben is not something that you see in our industry unless you absolutely want the project to go down the drain. You saw it with Doodles. Doodles had a larger NFT project, basically went radio silent for about a month or two. This industry is always on. It needs to be communicated, and that's all we were asking for. That's it. Like, even if he tweeted, hey, what's up? I'm still here. Guys, we're pushing WAGMI forward. It takes 2 seconds to do that. That's how our industry operates. That's how little you have to do. You don't need a grand PR announcement. All you need to do is interact with us on Twitter, and you're good. Baseline.
Yeah, I didn't love how he got to sort of like almost like name calling or very condescending at the end. I just don't think it's helpful again to really lean into this us versus them when I think we're all rooting for this to actually work. The one thing that he said that that definitely resonated was how, and we were already saying this, is that this is a big L for the Web3 community in general, because again, it becomes a massive case study for sports and Web3 integration that has failed. And it rubs off not just on Crawley Town, but he says the whole sports, or European football industry, right? This is going to color the way that they all feel about Web3 and NFTs in different ways. I think that's true. And it really fucking sucks if this does fail. Because it impacts a lot of people. It impacts a lot of people's opinions and sentiment. And the bigger part of that too is that, again, we actually today on both of our shows, we're doing our best to highlight real curators, thought leaders, real leaders in the industry that we think are good representations. We even talked about Pudgy Penguins as being maybe a healthier representation of the space, because the unfortunate truth is that there's a lot of schmucks that are propped up in the space that become the representations. There's a lot of bad, shitty projects that get all the attention. There's not that many really legitimate leaders representing the space, and it hurts us, man. Like, the ultimate FUD is our reputation preceding us and it being negative and shitty. So trust us, we're aware that it's a problem, and we try our best to look at the other side or present other alternatives, to that. So that resonates and that hurts, man, because I know that that's true, and it sucks. And so him and all of his buddies and a lot of the other English Premier League fans, if they didn't already know about NFTs or have a negative opinion, well, they all got something to talk about now,
Yeah, it's almost piled on top of each other too, because what little we do know about lower league football is some of it is the teams being acquired by foreign nationals, like foreign people. Like that's what you see at the higher level Premier League. You see teams like Manchester City, teams like Chelsea, all of these larger clubs have been now acquired. And now I'm speaking literally to the choir, because you guys already know this. But I think that what I'm trying to get to is that there's already kind of a wariness with foreigners coming in and acquiring a team that's been around for 120 years, let alone introducing the NFT concept. So I think there's already that underlying kind of thought process there of, hey, we need to be watched out for this. Like, we need to watch out for whatever's happening. And then you add the NFT thing, and it just adds fuel to the fire. So yeah, the comments are continuing in that Discord. Luke Cannon saying, why do Crawley fans and us NFT holders have to hate each other? I personally have no reason to. That was the big thing for me, even before this conversation. I never really thought of us as not Crawley. I know we're not diehards. Like, I'm not a freaking hooligan, or I'm not like this happens in the NFL, by the way, too. Like, you have diehard sets of fans, and then you have just like casual watchers. Like, I'm a fan of Crawley Town, so I never really distincted one from the other. Which I guess that was our. Maybe we should have thought that, and I think maybe I did, but I didn't personally think that there was two distinct fan bases. I just thought we were kind of there.
Anytime you try and open up something that has a hardcore fan base to broader audiences, you're gonna have a conflict there between the purists and the new guys, And so, but like, why is that the focus of this? Like, again, like, why is there? I don't know. But we have to say this: it's definitely at least in part, a failure of the new management of not doing a better job of bridging that. Right. So if new management came in to try and bring new people on and expand the project and do new things, try new things, and they didn't do a good enough job of bridging Web3, NFT, new fandom, new opportunities with the existing fans, if they didn't do that well, like that's a failure, because they should have known that wasn't going to be easy. I'm sure that they had an idea that wasn't going to be easy, but that was kind of like one of the main tasks here, right? That's one of the biggest tasks is you've got to, it's the execution that's failed here. But again, look, they just put out a statement. We're not trying to jump ahead too far. I mean, we did jump ahead a little bit on the Discord news, but we're reading the tea leaves. We're doing our best to understand, because we care about the project. We want it to succeed. And that's all I have to say about it. It's, I appreciate people seeing our content, sharing it out, and wanting to have the combo. So salute to those that did share it. Even if you don't like us and you think that we're just like shitty, evil NFT people, we're still glad that that conversation is happening.
Yeah. Don't take my English blokes drinking beer as a negative either. Like, honestly, I wish I love doing that. I loved going to the pub, watching Chelsea play against multiple different Premier League teams. That's like an awesome experience.
It's probably one of the parts of English culture that we like the most.
Yes. Entitled says, generally the Crawley Town fans, this is also a former Discord moderator, by the way, so we're going to cap it off with this. Generally, the Crawley Town fans do accept new people from anywhere and everywhere, no matter the circumstance. We want to grow our fan base despite what the cavalry on Twitter and X might say. It's a club for all, and people recognize that you invested into the project, ergo Crawley. If anything, a simple conversation on the ground with a regular fan, perhaps not on social media, will definitely change your outlook. Hence why I have so much patience here, because I know for a fact that whatever's being said online, it's far different than the wider fan base's opinions. Rounding out this combo, we're gonna head out here, folks. We went a little bit over time, but I thought this was a pertinent combo to have, especially with Crawley Town fans, if we can reach any of y'all. Like, the lack of communication from the top makes its way down to the bottom. You heard Entitled say it right there. It's far different. what did he say? Hence why I have so much patience here, because I know for a fact that whatever's being said online, it's far different than the wider fan base's opinions. So what we have is a lack of communication overall. And what he's saying is between the fan base and people online and the owners, the investors and the owners. Like, all of this is just a lack of communication between all sides. And it comes down to the execution by the people that are running it. Sorry.
Yep.
So we love you guys. We want to be Reds fans as well, like long term. I would love Crawley Town again had a game last night. They're I believe top 4 in the league right now, sitting up there. They just beat the Dons as well. So it's a good start to the season. That's ironic about this whole situation, is that all of this is happening, and yet Crawley Town is having a great start to this 23-24 season. So top 4 on the table, top 5 on the table. Looks good. All right, the last piece here, and we're running out. I did want to highlight the sushi restaurant, the Sushi and Sake by our man Nick Swervis as well. I wanted to drop that there in chat for y'all. This is going to be in Vegas. He apparently it's just an open invitation. So if you guys want to head over, I'm going to drop the eventual details. I saw Nick, you reached out to me on DMs, so I'll get the details there in chat for y'all. Otherwise, this has been a great NFT live. We'll be back tomorrow. All the love, our vibe, our tribe. Gifted, take us out, man.
It's an interesting world we live in, man. And again, like, we're here for the experiment. We're here to learn as we go. And yeah, love the convo. Shout out everybody that keeps showing up and being part of this as we figure it out, man. I don't know. Our vibe, our tribe. That's it. Episode 251 of GM Web3. Tomorrow morning, last show of the week. Hashtag Thirst Trap Thursday. And we're gonna keep doing what we do, man. Appreciate it.
Rec League meant tomorrow. A lot of generative art popping off. I mean, art is holding us through this bear market, so it's good to see that. Again, Boys of Summer, love what Prohibition Art as well is doing. So yeah, good things are happening even amidst that bear market backdrop. We appreciate y'all. Our vibe, our tribe.